All right. See, mic check. It's working. Up and running. Sure. All righty. We'll see. Might have to do some adjustments to the sound today, or I should say some more adjustments rather. Hopefully not. Okay, actually, I think that might solve a lot of my. Anyways, everyone. So hard to monitor my YouTube while hopefully not going crazy like last time, because that was very annoying last. Hope it looks good too, because YouTube keeps telling me that my bit rate's too low, even though it shouldn't be too low. So apparently I left the source open because I can hear myself talking. Important. Have to can't quite see. So trying to figure out how to have my camera, paint camera, uh, wanted it to be able to zoom and automatically track my hand, which I couldn't quite figure out. I did figure out how to make this track my head, so a little slow, but figure it out. So this way, at least I can shrink this window so I'm not covering the paint. Settings. feel like I'm muting it. I've said this before. More to be fairly like it can be blown out terms. Basic idea, soft A part good and well at least range. Have what's it headphones? Worried that the sound leak uh I'm worried that the sound leak will hit the mic. I'll get had that happen years ago. Still actually easier now. I knew back. There's a ton of they're not meant for isolate. Worth mentioning. can do a atmospheric paint hard edge hostage easier if you do it with hard edges. Just gonna have so that giving the keep cutting in YouTube, not just on YouTube. Your mic keeps cutting in and out. Uh, is very frustrating. Does the what is the word for it? Um, does the picture get all messed up on YouTube, or is the picture at least okay? Picture looks good. Okay, that's good. Working. All right, let's try this now. There's a chance it'll be better. Also, a chance there'll be a ton of noise in the background. So we'll see. I'll try this for a little bit and see if that works any better. At least the picture looks good. That's uh that's a start. Yesterday the picture was just like freaking out. Like it would just go like just random colors would suddenly flash on the camera and stuff. Like the picture would just disappear and stuff. The mic sounds better now. That's good. We'll see if it stays that way. Uh, I would have used my VOD to check my mic yesterday, but it was so messed up I couldn't. Thank you for your help. I appreciate you taking the time. Connection error says video is good though. Audio isn't cutting out now. Not really any background sounds either. Oh, thank you so much, connection error. I appreciate you letting me know. Um, it's been a huge pain in the butt. I also discovered something after yesterday's stream, and I appreciate your help, connection error. I discovered after my stream yesterday, I went into my like my internet provider, and I checked out everything. And so my internet provider, um, they either merged or were bought out by another company because we started on with one company and they became a different company. Um, and they lowered my upload speeds. So yeah, my max upload is much lower than it used to be. Uh, so that's fun. I have I have AT&T coming on Wednesday uh, to install new internet. So hopefully I'll be able to then, stream to my heart's content at whatever, you know, resolution I want. Oh yeah, that sucks because they don't tell you. Yeah, I had that happen when a local ISP company was bought. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they, tell you somehow, but like, yeah, they don't really inform you, not in a meaningful way. So yeah, I have AT&T coming Wednesday, so hopefully, you know, um, it'll all be, sorted out Wednesday. Yeah, I was so pissed when I found out. Yeah, we've been overpaying like crazy just to not deal with like switching. And then to find out that not only are we overpaying, but also I'm not getting the service that I want or thought I was paying for. And I was just I was so mad. Uh, I mean, it's honestly, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I just haven't been dealing with minor frustrations all that good lately. I think I just haven't been drinking enough caffeine, is what it is. My favorite my favorite story is when we had what was it? Not Spectrum, Time Warner Cable in LA, and we called them because we were having like nonstop issues, and they had a technician come out, and the technician comes into the house and is like looking things over, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm going to go check something outside with the connections. I'll be right back." And then he just never came back. Just walked off. Connection error says complain or they won't fix it. I was paying for high speed and it wasn't cheap. They kept the price when the company switched, but lowered the speed. They also wouldn't admit it was what they lowered it. Yeah, no, I'm switching companies because I don't think they're capable of giving me the internet speeds I want. They don't even have a package that has that. So I'm just switching for because of that. Okay. Um, Sorry, work is contacting me for something. Mm, all right. I'm technically off of work. I don't have to respond, but it's one of the things working from home. I always feel like I need to respond, at least if I can. But yeah, I don't think this company has a plan that can even accommodate what I want. So I'm just switching. Not worth it to deal with the pain. But yeah, I have done that in the past when I was in LA because we had sort of competition. Like there was at least two companies that could, you know, give mostly the same quality. Um, I called my internet provider and I was like, "Hey, I called the other company and they have a guy coming out. So you guys send to someone. Whoever gets here first, I'm and fixes the problem, I'm going with them." It's like I'm done with this. And the what's it called? The wait time went from 2 weeks to tomorrow. It was so funny. I had a friend who worked not an ISP company, but um, he worked for a government uh, body that dealt with the what's it called with the public, And he said that the way that they have things set up on purpose to be difficult, and they automatically just reject most first time applicants without even evaluating it properly, just to weed people out, which is so messed up. But the flip side to that is, he did say that most of the people that continue with the process almost always get approved. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but yeah, when you tell them you're going to switch to someone else, stuff gets done fast. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But like I said, this one's just hopeless. They're not. They don't have the ability. Um, I went on to see like what their what their plans were, so I could just switch with my current provider, and there's nothing. My upload is maxed out at 35. That's like the fastest upload they have. Which I mean, for a lot of things is fine, right? Like uh, but I think it's because I'm trying to simulcast to YouTube and Twitch. That's the problem. I know some people would like kill for 35 uploads, so I do recognize that fact, but you know, I was getting in the 50s before. I wonder what the internet connection is like. Uh, like I've heard in what was it, Japan and South Korea. Um, it's crazy good. I wonder what crazy good means. It's been a while since I've checked out what they've got. I did see it on TV once, and I was just like, oh my god, I would like kill for that. I don't remember what it was at the time, but it was like triple whatever I had. By the way, connection error. What do you think of the camera that follows me now? Is this a good? Is this an improvement or not so much? I know it's a little slow to keep up with me. I'll adjust that at some point. I was trying to set up trying to set something up so that it would follow my brush, so I could zoom in and paint, zoomed in, and the camera would follow my brush. But it can't. It doesn't know what a brush looks like, but it does know what a face looks like. It's good if you move a lot. It works. So my thing is, I want to have my camera box not on top of the painting, and I either shrink myself down a lot or I do this. That's kind of the options. And I thought this might look better than shrinking myself down. Yeah, exactly. If it didn't follow me, it would have to be further away. Uh, Not physically, but the picture would be smaller. So, I just realized I was going to tell you about this painting yesterday when you logged in, but my my audio and my setup was so scuffed. I don't know if you even heard me yesterday, but in case you didn't, or in case someone else is new here, this painting is based off of a found photo or found photography. Um, Found photography is photos that are abandoned essentially, and people don't know who's the owner, who the people in them are, and so on. The example I always go to is like storage lockers that get auctioned off. So you can buy them all over. Like you can buy them online, you can buy them at like secondhand stores and all kinds of different places. So I bought like a pack of 100 photos, and it's like random, just totally random stuff. Some from like turn of the century type of thing, and some from like the 80s. So it's a mixed bag. For legal reasons, I'm keeping it to mostly like uh, I think it's 72 and earlier. Um, just for, like I said, for legal reasons and ethical reasons. I'm also not generally, and this may change because I have to make it's on an individual call basis kind of thing, but I'm not doing any like close-up portraits, so you know the so I'm not really using anyone's like distinct likeness. Um, yeah. Oh, thanks, connection error. I'm glad you like the setup. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It'll keep changing over time. After I'm done though with this bit of the setup, I'm not going to be touching it for a while because I have other things I need to focus on. All right, just responding to work again. All right, this should be the end of it. I don't think they'll reach out anymore. Connection error. If you don't mind me asking, I'm trying to recall, but my memory is horrible. Do you do you make art? Are you an artist as well? Would someone complain if they found out their photo was painted? I had a friend paint my portrait from a photo. It was my favorite possessions. Someone might complain if I sold it because these paintings are for sale. Theoretically, someone could complain that, you know, I'll put it this way. The chances that someone would complain are very small unless they thought I made a lot of money off of it, which I'm not selling my paintings for. Like, I mean, my prices are, not rock bottom, but they're not like thousands of dollars for, what is this, 12 by 16. But yeah, I think that's where some issue might come into play. Having said that, legally, they're not going to have a lot of standing to go on. Uh, and add to that the fact that they'll probably never even see it. And I'm not doing like very, very distinct likenesses. Um, and I'm editing the photos in addition. Like I'm not just painting them as is. So when you kind of combine everything, I'm not really worried. Like I said, I also looked up the law behind it. My understanding, not a lawyer, my understanding is unless they renewed the copyright to their photo uh, prior to 72 or 76, I can't remember. It's expired now unless they renewed the copyright. So connection error says, yeah, I post some stuff on Tyler's Discord. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Of your comic, same name as here. If the painting was sold, I could see the issue with that. Yeah. But like I said, when you combine all the points that I'm, bringing up, I feel pretty comfortable selling these paintings, at this stage. Because I really try not to like just take photos. Like I won't just take photos off of Instagram and sell them or something like that. Like I don't do stuff like that. So I try, you know, I try to be ethical with how I approach things. I've done fan art, but once again, I don't think anybody, I don't think Keanu Reeves is going to care if I sold my painting of him. You know what I mean? Um, and I don't think what's his name? Adam Conroy. I can't remember Conroy. I don't. He won't be mad either. I mean, he liked the painting I did of him, so I don't think he's going to care if I sell it. And but that's one of the reasons that I'm being careful and not making these like, you know, close-up portraits of the people. Yeah, my memory for names is so scuffed, but thanks for reminding me. I will check out your comic again on the Discord to refresh my memory. I think with celebrities, it's different because it's a public figure compared to private person. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and there's so many other aspects of it that are a factor with celebrities versus a private person. But that's, like I said, that's why these aren't, um, you know, that's why I'm using um, That's why I'm going through all the steps I'm going to with these paintings, you know what I mean? Because this is originally a black and white photo, for instance, right? And the photo is about this big, I think. Uh, and there's more stuff around it. I cropped it as well, and and so on. So and there's a good chance that the people in it are no longer alive. There is that too. Um, yeah. There are some that I'm going to do, I think, portraits of like close up portraits, but the photos are so old that I think the ones I'm looking at, I think, are from the 1800s, right? Like they're not, so I'm feeling kind of confident about those. Really? So the coloring is just from imagination? Partially. I also used Photoshop to help with the coloring. I would say Photoshop was more of a starting off point rather than a what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's basically a jumping off point. After I used Photoshop to add color to it, because they have a colorize thing. You just go into a menu, click a button, and it colorizes the photo for you. But that's just like the start of it. I then go in and I add a bunch of effects. I do a bunch of other tweaks and edits. I do blurs. I add lens. I add the light leaks and all of that stuff. So, and then I also do other color edits in addition to get what I want. Um, and if you take the photo in Photoshop and you crop it in a different way and tell it to colorize, um, you'll get a different result. Same if you lighten it or darken it and so on. So I'll do a bunch of variations of those things and find the ones that I like as a starting off point or combine them. So that's all just to make the reference. And I'm not like 100% even matching the reference. I feel a little like Shad at the moment, but like I said, it's just the start. I still actually have to paint the thing. if I if I ended it at I did those edits and said this is my photo, then I really would be like Shad. Never used Photoshop or digital stuff. I've done is only digital stuff I've done is Procreate on your iPad. Okay, cool. I've started using it in the last years. Yeah, Procreate's great. Um, a lot of what Photoshop, well, a lot of what I've done with Photoshop for this, you can pull off in Procreate if you wanted to. It'd just be harder. And you'd have to do some of it manually versus using like the colorize. Uh, but you can do it. It's not, because Photoshop's just guessing at all of this stuff. It doesn't know, right? Like it has no way of knowing what color any of this is. It's doing it's an estimated guess basically. But I'll go in and if like if I didn't like um I'll go in and I'll cool off the shadows and warm up the highlights or stuff like that. Like I'll go in and do all these edits. And those are all things you can do in Procreate. Is a really good program. You got Procreate because it's simplified, yeah. You tried Clip Studio, but it's too much to figure out. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. And if you don't have a background in it, and you don't have someone to, explain it to you, it's a lot to pick up on your own. Don't think it's, no part of me thinks that it's beyond your ability. It's more an issue of time and headache. Um, really, because it's one of those things where it's like once you know it, it's not hard, right? Like it's really not hard. Uh, but when you don't know it, of course, the learning curve is. And I learned that like Clip Paint Studio, I already knew Photoshop at the time, so it wasn't an issue for me. And I learned Photoshop when it was a little simpler. And as it's gotten more complicated over the years, that's for sure. And I mean, yeah, also like if what's it called? If Procreate does what you want it to do, then you also have no reason to spend the time and energy anywhere else. It's all just there to facilitate making art. So just, make the art if you can. But yeah, also Procreate, I agree. It feels really good. I've used it. I have an iPad. I used it. So yeah, you're using a drafting pencil, ink, and paper. Uh, yeah. Oh, you're used to it drafting. Yeah, yeah. Ah, for sure. I totally get that. It was a process of like years. I remember when not Clip, what is it? Corel Painter was Photoshop's big competitor, and so I started learning that one too. I mean it's been a process of years learning it and keeping with it and so on. Yeah, with Procreate you can just pick it up and start drawing. Absolutely. And I will say this too, like having moved into oil painting, I enjoy oil painting so much more than digital painting. It is such a huge difference. It's so much better. And by better, I'm talking about the experience, in my opinion, of like making oil paints, like making oil paintings. It's so much more fun. I actually bought my iPad mostly to paint and draw in Procreate because I was going to make time-lapse videos. Uh, that was the goal. That's why I bought the thing in the first place. Um, and then I ended up just pushing more into oil painting, and I do not use my iPad nearly as much as I would like to, or not even like to, is like as I feel justifies owning it. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, it's been very helpful to have. Like, I've taken it with me on trips before, and I even did a retouching job on it once when I didn't have my computer. So, I'm happy to have it, but yeah, maybe not the best purchase in the world on my end, but what you're gonna do. I'm trying to find something real quick here. There it is. Found it. I have a thin palette knife. Yeah. You've started learning how to paint with it. You've watched James Julier art tutorials here on YouTube. Yeah, he does how to paint videos with Procreate. That's awesome. Um, Depending on the style you're looking for, um, there's a few other people I can recommend. They don't do, I'm so sorry. I tried to cover the mic in time. I don't think I succeeded. Um, what was I going to say? There's some other people who do like more cartoony type of style, uh, which might not be what you're looking for, but could also be useful for comic book related type of stuff. Check out I think it's Mike Henry. I think that's his name on YouTube. A lot of his things aren't exactly tutorials, but some of them are. And Brad Coble, he's much more cartoony, but he does teach how to use the program. You've seen Mike Henry's art online, but didn't know he'd had YouTube stuff? Yeah, yeah, he has a YouTube channel. I don't think he's posted in a long time, but he used to. Uh, maybe I haven't seen them in a while, but and he's still posting. I don't know, but yeah, his stuff's great. And there's like I said, there's a huge backlog on his YouTube that you can go through, and you know, what's it called? Even though it's like older versions of Procreate, not significant. The changes aren't significant enough to make it unusable or whatever. I think his YouTube channel's funny because he puts like this jazzy music behind his in his backgrounds when he's on his like speed paints. I like the music. I dig it. It's just I wasn't expecting it, especially when you see him. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. Um, oh, what's up?
Do you see that? I
Yeah,
watched for like 20 minutes.
yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Um, what is his name? Uh, Dave Greco. I can't remember how he pronounces it. He streams on Twitch. Um, I think he uses mostly Photoshop, but still, great digital artist. So he's got some good things, you know, there for sure. Doing a painting, how long does it normally take you? Just doing a comic book page can take me a couple days because I because you redo things a lot after looking at it. Um, so it's hard for me to say, I'll be honest. It kind of depends on how complicated the painting is. This one's kind of more complicated because there's more people. Not only are there two people that are like um, in the same space, but there's things connecting between them. So everything has to be right. Everything has to be the right size, the right everything. That complicates it quite a bit. I've done a small, and I say small portrait in like 6 hours. But usually a painting's around I think 25 to like 30 something hours, depending on the size. It can go up depending. Also, my stream output is not exactly indicative of my normal speed. I'm so much slower when I'm streaming. Uh, and for numerous reasons. Not only do I have to deal with all the stream stuff and talking to people, which I'm not complaining about, don't get me wrong, but it does slow me down. It's also usually after a day of work where I'm tired and so on, and I don't do it for like long enough. My streaming chunks are, it's on me that they're not long enough, but it's because I'm usually too tired to do, like I'm too tired after work to do like a 4 or 5 hour stream where I paint. So it ends up being like 2 hours. And when you break it up a lot, it slows. There's like a sweet spot of breaking it up where it's like it's the most effective. But if you break it up more or less, the efficiency drops. As far as comic books go, trying to remember how long it would take me to do a page. I could do a page between 1 to 3 days, depending. That's that's not taking in consideration other things like other jobs and so on. Those things obviously can really slow you down a lot. Uh, Hold on, let's see. You don't ever he connection error is asking you don't ever want to do an entire thing after you look at it done. I have that issue a lot. Yeah, after work I wind up passing out and not drawing. Yeah, it can be rough. Um, it definitely can be exhausting. There have definitely been days streaming where I was just like so tired and out of it. Um, Actually, there was one day where I streamed and I don't remember what painting it was, but I actually did more harm to the painting than I did improve it. And so the next time I painted, I actually had to go in and fix all the things I'd messed up in the previous session. But, it happens. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I subscribe to the idea that you can't think of your paintings or your art too preciously when you're making it, especially. Later, sure, to a degree, I get it, but not when you're making it. Not happy with this part right here. The texture is actually making it worse. When I run into this problem where the texture is actually like hindering me, uh, as far as I know, there are only three options. One, give up, which is a valid thing to do sometimes. Sometimes. Two, scrape it down. You got to be careful with that because you don't want to sand it down. You just want to like carve off some of it, which isn't always doable. Or just like spackle over it. As far as I know, those are the three like real options. But yeah, if anyone is painting with real medium and they run into a problem like this, don't sand your paintings. In fact, I would say nobody should sand their paintings in general unless you really know what you're doing and have the equipment for it. And by the way, the equipment for it, I don't mean the sander. I mean like a respirator and a way of disposing of the collecting the dust properly and so on. Because almost all paint pigments are um, not all of them are toxic, but a lot of them are toxic, especially if you're inhaling them. Like a lot of them aren't toxic if you just get it on your skin, but if you inhale it, it's a different story. Connection error says if I get to a part that just won't come out right, like a face at an odd angle, you just have to stop and not force it, and it just comes out worse. Yeah. Are you familiar with the technique of like drawing through? Because that's often That's often a technique I would use, and I know a lot of other artists use for stuff like that. But I will say this: that is understandable, and I do think that's a good approach sometimes to take a break and come back. This right now is not that situation. Not saying you said it was, but this is just like I know what the problem is, and I know how to fix it. And because I know what the problem is and I know how to fix it, I'm confident that I can, right? Versus if I knew there was a problem and didn't know how to fix it, be totally different situation. Not sure what that technique is. So drawing through is the idea of like taking a drawing and just like drawing the like wireframe or the construction, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Just drawing through it, because sometimes if the head's at an odd angle, it's kind of hard because you haven't seen it from there a lot. So aside from getting reference, what you can do is you can fall back on your construction. You're like, okay, so the ball of the head is here. There's the line. Well, and you draw through the parts that you like can't see, and that often like helps you figure out where everything needs to go. And not just the head. A lot of times it's the things around it that are the problem, not the thing itself. I've said this so many times. Um, like the other day when I was painting this and I was painting this guy's head, right? The glasses were actually like 2 millimeters lower, and I couldn't tell where the problem was, if it was like where the glasses were positioned, where his hairline was positioned, or where his chin was, because it's all proportional, right? So I could move any of those things around. It's just how would that sit with the rest of the head and body? Um, yeah, I didn't draw it out though, but if this had been a drawing, I would have. You really don't know the names of art techniques. I taught myself by seeing others work and trying things. That's fair when it comes to comics. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Um, are you familiar? Do you have the book How to Draw the Marvel Way? It's obviously a comic, related drawing book, but it's just a great drawing book overall. Like anyone who wants to draw comics or just wants to draw illustrations, just anyone who wants to draw from imagination and so on, I highly recommend it. And there's no shame in uh, teaching yourself and not knowing what's it called, the terms for it. That was most of art history is like that. So yeah. Nope, you don't have any books about art. Oh man, do yourself a favor, check out at least look it up online, see how to draw the Marvel way. YouTube videos are great. Like I think there's a ton of fantastic resources on YouTube online. Like without a doubt. Um, oh man, there's some good books out there. Um, I think you can get the Andrew Loomis book for free online. I think you can download the PDF of it because it wasn't, I think the copyright on it lapsed and they weren't printing it. But yeah, Andrew Loomis, I don't remember what the name of his book is. It's like illustration or how to illustrate or something like that. He also has drawing the head and hands, but his illustration book's really good. The main thing I've learned from is the Manben series by Urasawa, a manga creator. That's cool. He talked with others about how they do things while watching them work. It's on YouTube if I'm interested. Uh, what language is it in? Uh, because that might be a bit of a problem for me. Marvel Way book I've heard of and people mention it looks the looks I'm I think maybe there's you mistyped something or I don't know what you're saying. Subtitle in English. Yeah. Maybe. I'll check it out, but uh, not a not a lot of chance I'll watch it. I struggle with subtitles, and most of the stuff I watch while I'm at work, like when I don't watch it, kind of thing. But also, I'm dyslexic, and subtitles are can be challenging sometimes. Oh, you were auto corrected for the Loomis way. Yeah, yeah. Loomis is great. He's a little, he's old. It's an old book, so there's a bit of like formality to it in a way, I guess, or the language is a little like I don't know, old, I guess. But it's all good information. None of it has changed. The fundamentals are all there. Nothing has changed. Also, I personally, and this one is, uh, I've heard some people say they didn't get it, which I was so confused by. But Bridgman's Guide to I think it's Bridgman's Guide to Figure Drawing, or Bridgman's Complete Guide to Figure Drawing might be. Oh, that one's so good. And then I'm trying to think of other things. Because you want to draw comics, there's a few other things, a few other books. There's there's oh Framed Ink and Framed Ink they have a second version too. I can't remember. The second one I think deals with what's it called? I think the second one deals more with the perspective. But yeah, those ones are so good. I definitely check out Framed Ink. Loomis, funny thing about Andrew Loomis is you see all his, all his drawings, because he has a few books on how to draw and so on and be an illustrator. And you see his stuff, and it's like you can see he's really good, but he doesn't have. I, he doesn't have any of his finished work in his how-to books, um, and you don't see a lot of his work just around in general. But I came across his work. I can't remember where I saw it. Oh my God, he was good. Like, there's a reason he was writing books on how to, you know, how to do this stuff. He's so good. Like, definitely not a style for everybody. Like, I'm not, I recognize that, but there's style, and then there's like, I don't know. There are people who, even if you don't like their style, you can just see the quality and knowledge in their work, regardless of anything. I'll definitely connect it there. So definitely take it if it involves perspective of trying to make every panel I have different point of view from other people on the left and right side talking. Yeah, Friend Ink is really good. There's also a book on perspective for comic book artists. I'm trying to remember the name. It's in the name. It's something like Perspective for Comic Book Artists or something like that. I can't remember the name exactly. Yeah, it's a good book if you need to learn more perspective on how to do like more complicated perspective stuff. Framed Ink will do more about like storytelling and framing and yeah, it can help with people talking like dialogue stuff. It can help with that because it talks about like not breaking the 180 rule. It's more for film, but it does apply to comics to a degree. Um, so yeah, you just watched all of the comics great series the Stan Lee did. They always bring up making things exciting, even if it's not the greatest art. Yeah, although I will say my perspective on that has changed a little. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying my perspective's changed a little. But yeah, there's definitely something to that. The thing is, you can do a lot with little. Like you can tell a great story, and it doesn't have to be the best drawings in the world. Absolutely. That's why describe it is better than what I did. Yeah. The way they describe it is better. Yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure. I get that. You're describing it in YouTube chat like a yeah, very very limited capabilities here for sure. But yeah, what is it? That series Bone. Uh, you know, as an example, very simple drawings. You know, very well executed. I'm not trying to crap on the guy's art, but very very simple. I mean, heck, Peanuts, yeah. An example is having a panel of a boss yelling at a worker. Don't put them on both sides of the panel, but the view over the boss's shoulder so you can see emotion of the worker's face. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about, absolutely, it's all about storytelling. Yeah, you can do that in so many different ways, and it just depends. It just depends on the story and how you want to tell it. So but absolutely, you want to make it interesting. I mean, even if you want to make it not interesting, that should be part of the storytelling. The example of that is like what's it called? The Incredibles, when he's working at the job he hates. They purposefully made it very mundane looking, very, the lighting was mundane, everything. They were really pushing that feeling. Um so even that is story, part of the storytelling. Oh, I was just remembering, is it Marco Bucci uh on YouTube? He's so good. Um I think it's Marco Bucci, but if that's not the name, 10 minutes to better drawing or 10 minutes to a better painting, something like that. Um, he has a few videos under that name for like a series. Oh, he's so good. And I've known some people who haven't liked him, but a lot of people like Proco. He seems really nice, and he's very knowledgeable. Honestly, I think he's just so positive and like such a nice person, or comes off that way, that I think some people, maybe it's off-putting for them. They're not as much comic book, but they are like illustration based. I'm redoing a page now because the first draft was boring. It's a person running and collapsing in 3 panels instead of it being 3 panels layered on top of each other. Uh, I'm turning as he collapses. Oh, cool. Yeah, comic books are really tough when you're still like improving a lot from a day to day. Doing comics is very, very hard because you end up improving so fast that by the time you get, just a couple pages in, you're better than when you started. Unfortunately, that kind of improvement does slow down with time. As you improve, the gap starts getting smaller and smaller, unfortunately. But I mean, it's not all negative. It gets smaller and smaller because you've gotten so much better. This part is just so ridiculously small for what I need it to be. All right. That part needs to be redone to a degree, but sometimes you got to leave it alone and come back to it, especially with painting. The reason I'm using a palette knife here instead of a brush is a really stupid one. It's because all the brushes that I have that I'm using at the moment that I have open are splaying a lot. And so I can't get like a sharp edge with them. And the reason that that's stupid is because I do have other brushes that I can use. So I could just grab a brand new brush and do that. But yeah, palette knife works as well. It's just I don't know if more finicky is the right word for it, but there's a degree of less precision or nuance in it to a degree. Some people can do amazing work with the palette knife. I am a novice in comparison to those people. I also notice when I paint with the palette knife, I have a tendency to make the paint steps, the value steps a lot larger. I'm trying to be cautious of that. I think because I rely on like blending, like on a softening and a bit of blending on the canvas that I with the brush that I don't with the palette knife. At least that's what I think. This palette knife that I'm using right now, I like it for certain aspects of things. Like it's really small, which is great for detail, and it's very stiff, which is great for scraping. However, it's not that great for mixing the colors because of how stiff it is and how small it is. Yeah, the palette knife is not helping me in this area. It's actually making things worse. Hey, I'm definitely going to have to grab a new brush soon. Blade brushes definitely have a place, though. They're not useless. It's just everything has its, has a purpose or can be used for certain things better or more. So they're very useful for certain things. And part of the reason they're splayed in the first place is my fault. That is not right. Hey, I'm getting a raid from Carson DeWalt. Hey, welcome, raiders. Hi, everybody. I I'm going to say this right now. I apologize if I don't see anyone. I'm simulcasting and I can't see if people are like what's it called? Subscribing or following, or anything like that. I don't think I even have subscribing on, but yeah, but following. So, anyways, I apologize. Thank everyone who is following, who does follow. I appreciate it. Like I said, simulcasting, and I just can't see it right now. How's it going? How was your stream, Carson? What were you up to? No worries. I wanted to bring some friends over to see your painting. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. What were you working on? What were you up to? And welcome, friends. I appreciate everyone stopping by. My name's Leod Goldberg. Uh, I guess I should introduce myself. Yeah, I'm a storyboard artist, but my YouTube and Twitch channel are dedicated to my oil paintings. So that's what I do. I know I'm great at selling myself, but yeah, that's about it. If anyone's interested, this painting right now I'm working on is a found photography painting, which I think is kind of cool. We're working on some inking tonight, just picking away at a drawing. Nice. You're welcome to share it in the chat if you want, or you're welcome to share your uh, Instagram or anything you'd like. Sure, you can share what you looked like at the start of the stream today. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it. So unfortunately with this setup right now, you can't see my palette that well, but when I have more upright paintings, usually you can see my palette a little bit better. Okay, awesome. I see the link. Give me just a second and I'll take a look at it. Oh, that needs some work. uh, I'm talking about my painting. I literally just painting's a fun thing. It's a lot of back and forth of like ruining and then improving things. Oh, oh damn, this is really nice. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Unfortunately, I can't share it on screen, and the reason I can't share it on screen is I don't have because of NDA reasons, I don't have it set up so that I can have my screen viewable. I don't want to take the chance that I, accidentally expose something um, from work, on stream. Kind of not wanting to take a chance with that. But I'll put it in my chat and YouTube as well so people can take a look at it. And it'll live there in the VOD as well, so VOD watchers can look at it too. I remember this story a long time ago. There was a secretary at Marvel Entertainment, um, and she took photos with a bunch of the stars that came by the studio, kind of thing. And in the background of the shot, there was something back there, and unfortunately, she got fired for that. And I always think of that when I think of streaming, and I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy who, you know, accidentally shows something I'm not supposed to on stream. Oh no, that's rough. Yeah, no, that really sucked for her. I felt that was one of those things where you feel so bad for someone because they're just doing what everybody else was doing, and they just didn't pay attention. If you want to share your YouTube channel, or your Twitch channel or whatever, I'll happily share it in the relink it in the what's it called? Another chat if you feel like it. Although I will be honest, I don't think there's not a ton of viewers right now, but every once in a while there are people who watch the VODs, so you never know. Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. So, yeah, like I was saying, this is based off of found photography, which I think found photography is such an interesting thing. It's photos that were essentially abandoned, and we don't know who the people in them are. We don't know who took the photo. We don't know anything about it. Uh, it's just a random photo kind of thing. Okay, it's time for me to get some food, but I'll be lurking. No worries. Absolutely understandable. I often feel that way right after stream too. It's like, oh my God, I have to eat. Um, uh, Let me see if that, um, I don't know how to pronounce that. Nerdens, maybe? I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Oh, is the top exposed film? Uh, yeah, it's what's it called? Light leak. So yeah, same concept basically. Yeah, I think it's really interesting, to think of like, because you can find these photos. They have like you can get them at what's the word I'm looking for? Like secondhand shops sometimes have them, or they'll have like full albums with them, or um, um, there's another kind of flea market stuff like that. Sometimes we'll have them. And also eBay has them, by the way. So you can buy them. You can just buy like a box on eBay, which is what I did. I just bought a box of like 100 random photos. They're not all, you know, they're not all going to make good paintings, but I got a couple choice ones out of it. Oh yeah, I forgot I also have this ability. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I can get in a little close so you can see some of the detail. Uh, I'm a I'm a little bad at controlling it though. But yeah, my goal with my paintings, you know, for anyone who doesn't know me, which I assume most people don't, I'm trying to get like a very atmospheric and moody feel to my paintings. That's generally what I'm shooting for. So I do a lot of like compressed values, compressed uh, chroma, stuff like that. Um, I just trying to get that really like moody, atmospheric feel to my paintings, which is sometimes very counter intuitive to what like uh, you know to what people are taught, especially like what I was taught, because I studied comic books and I won't say I studied at school, what's it called? Um, concept art, but I've definitely watched a ton of stuff on concept art. And the tendency is to be more like high contrast, and so on. But I think it's a lot of fun. And if anyone has questions about oil painting or anything, you're more than welcome to ask. I'm happy to talk about anything painting related. I keep forgetting. I mean to do a photo. Keep meaning to take a photo of the painting before I start and then at the end so I can like see my progress throughout the painting session. Unfortunately, it's a little slow, especially especially on weekdays. It's never quite as fast as I would like it to be, but yeah. Uh, I'll be honest, I haven't met an artist yet who's like, "Oh yeah, I paint totally at the speed I would like. I would not want to paint any faster." I haven't met that artist yet. Oh shoot, you can't see that part. All right. I used to play music on my streams, but well, ever since I started streaming on YouTube, they're much more strict about it on YouTube. So I stopped. Also, I don't think a lot of people liked my taste in music. Some did, but I don't think the majority of people did. If anyone's wondering why I keep squinting, if you're not familiar with it, it's a painter's technique. It compresses your view, uh, so it's easier to evaluate sometimes your values and your shapes. And it prevents you from seeing all the details, which just get in the way a lot of time. Did you guys hear that pop sound? Did that come through? Did anyone hear that? We'll have to go back in the VOD to see if that went through. Oh man, it is later than I thought it was. Are you going to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually going to be ending stream in a few minutes, but no big deal. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to be ending stream in just a few minutes. My back is done with me painting today. All right, before I go, gonna give you guys a quick little cat buddy. So cat incoming. Um, one second. I did this the wrong way. Absolutely did this the wrong way. Jeez. What did I do? Okay, that's not it. Oh, there we go. All right. All righty. Justin, come say goodbye to everybody. Yeah. Oh, baby boy. Oh, he's such a sweepy boy. Camera, stop moving. There we go. This is Dresden. He's the real star of the channel. Isn't that right, Dresden? All right. I'm going to call it a night. Say bye, Dresden. Oh, say bye. Don't lick that one. That. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Oh, I should also mention before I go, I stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday day. So that's the schedule. Hope to see you there. I should have a link to my Discord and all my socials and everything. But yeah, have a good night, everyone.